The Independence for Climate Action Now. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. I hope you've got your coffee and you're ready to look at a new political party. So, I was trawling through the AEC and I found this party that's just submitted an application for registration. The Independence for Climate Action Now, ICAN. And this is their little logo. And I thought we'd read through their constitution and learn a bit about this party. So here we go. So the purpose. The purpose of the Independence for Climate Action Now, ICAN, is to be a party of allied independents. Here we go, I'll zoom in a bit. Allied independents from across the political spectrum, bound by a commitment to deliver effective, scientific, evidence-based policies to address the climate emergency. Okay, because we're having a climate emergency. It's bloody hot here in Brisbane right now for the last 2 days. It's been a nightmare. But I wouldn't call that an emergency. I'd call that a season. This purpose is derived from the knowledge that science informs us. All hail science. That climate change is an existential threat to human society and life as we know it. Oh no, it's going to end our existence. Don't you just get the feeling that it's all a bunch of doom, end of the world prophecy? Urgent action is required in emergency situations, and humans must now respond to this emergency. It requires climate action now. Climate action now. So they're claiming it's an emergency. They're creating, the premise is that we're in a dire strait. But, okay, here's something that you all have to realize. It's a slow emergency. It is a very slow emergency. Any impact that we're having on the environment is very slow moving. And any efforts we do now will be completely obsolete in a very soon amount of time. Honestly. Like, I was watching a Periscope from Scott Adams where he was discussing putting solar panels on his mansion. Now, he knew that he would never make the money back in the time that putting those solar panels on there would, their lifespan. By the time that in 5 years' time, the panels would be worthless, they'd be pretty much useless, and he would have been able to get more efficient ones that would have had a better outcome. But he had to do it for political purposes. So it just shows you that, you know, science, progress, human ingenuity, I have more faith in those than a bunch of people, independents for climate action now, that are spreading fear. They here in their constitution is fear-mongering and worries about the end of the world. ICAN aims to be an alternative to Australia's party-based political system. We believe climate change to the extent it is caused by human behavior and choices requires action on a non-partisan basis. Provide vote opportunities for the 60% of Australians who want effective action on climate change, even if it costs us economically. Well, I need to look at that because I bet you the 60% of Australians who voted for that don't actually understand that that means reduction in their quality of life. That's what it means. It means having less shit. It's that simple. Challenge major political parties to develop climate policies that reflect the science, which indicates immediate and substantive action is required to address the climate emergency. Okay? Sure. It's all going to be pointless. We'll just get cold fusion in 5 years' time. Or fusion. Why don't we just implement nuclear power? If you implemented nuclear power here in Australia with modern, contemporary technology, we would have cheap power and it would be negligible impact to the environment. It'd be more efficient than all the other ones, but of course, no, we can't have that. Nuclear bad, NPC line 3. Shift political power to a broad bloc of climate action committed independents. Raise awareness of the significance of the climate emergency amongst the Australian electorate. Help drive our nation towards being a collaborative international participant in global action that can avert a climate catastrophe and provide our youth with the direction, hope, and options for a viable and truly sustainable future based on this premise of the end of the world. Sure. Does this sound like a religious cult to you? Because it's sounding like one to me. It really is. Whatever the costs and commitments are in order to address the climate emergency, challenges also provide opportunities for a shift in investment, employment, nation-building, technological innovation, and societal progress. Yeah, I guess that sounds about right, but, you know, it's easy to write that in a sentence, But to actually make it happen in reality is a different thing. These opportunities, when embraced by all Australians, are the way of the future. Well, they'll put us at a competitive disadvantage to other nations around the world. Other nations with greater militaries that might be interested in acquiring our resources. ICAN's emergency-based policy response to climate change has 6 foundations, including transitioning society to 100% renewable energy. Wow. Okay, cool. Managed phase out of the fossil fuel industry. So does that include coal mining? Is that including coal mining? Are they really talking about getting rid of the fossil fuel industry, the entire industry? What about our cars? Natural resource and ecosystem management for carbon sequestration. If you're going to sequester carbon, does that mean we're going to start eating more beef on paddocks, pasture fed? They sequester a lot of carbon. Investment in science and technology to implement carbon drawdown. Okay, how? Where are you going to get the money to invest into this when you've destroyed the fossil industry, which is what, 10% of our industry if you count all the mining? You're cutting. You've just taken 10% out of the industry, and now you've what, tripled our power prices. So you're putting costs up. You've destroyed an industry. And you want to invest then. Where are you going to get the money to invest? Creating a beyond zero emission society. Okay. So we're going to have a society that's beyond zero emission. So you're just going to kill everyone pretty much. Or you're going to destroy our quality of life to the extent where it's not going to matter, or you're just going to offset it all with make-believe transfers of carbon into trees. Planned adaptation for unavoidable climate impacts. But they are avoidable. That's the whole point of your party, is to offset this. The problem with all of this is no matter whenever this is exactly the same as the religious nutter claiming a tsunami is, God's vengeance on San Francisco for being too LGBT friendly. And there are people out there that are claiming that rubbish. This is the same stuff. They see a tsunami, they're going to blame it on climate change. They see a fire. You light a fire in your backyard, it'll be blamed on climate change. That's what this is. That's how they see the world. Their whole frame of reference is biased towards this view, and that means they're dangerous. They're ideologues. They're climate ideologues. Okay, so let's go through this. The party shall be named Independent for Climate Action Now. The party abbreviation shall be ICAN. Witty. That's good. That's good. The party shall be a voluntary association of people referred to throughout the Constitution as members. Termination of membership. Members of the party may voluntarily request at any time in writing that their membership be terminated by the secretary. The executive may decide to expel permanently or temporarily any member of the party at its sole discretion. Threshold groups. A threshold group of members, or a threshold group as referred to elsewhere in the Constitution, so shall be defined as 5% of the party members or 100 party members, whichever is smaller, with a minimum of 5 people. Okay. Party members shall make reasonable effort to update the secretary of any changes to their address from time to time. A member with no fixed address, of course not, may choose to nominate a single given address to be their ordinary place of residence. Okay. Purpose and function of voting. We're not going to get into that. Motions. The executive of the party referred to as the executive is the party's supreme decision-making body. Oh, it just reminds me of the commenter. The executive has a wide range of powers, which are described throughout this Constitution. The executive is comprised of the party federal leader, referred to in the Constitution as party leader, federal leader, or simple leader. What about Das Führer? Do you want to put Das Führer in there? 6 regional members. Okay, this is all boring. Voting, changing the leadership. There are 2 ways in which a new executive election may occur. If 2 current members of the executive endorse a ticket to stand as executive candidates, this ticket may or may not include the endorsing executive members, or if a threshold group of members endorse a ticket to stand as executive candidates. Okay, do they have any quotas in here? Endorsement of federal parliamentary candidates, Senate candidates, affiliate groups, policy, office bearers, treasurer director, yep. Party meetings, they have AGM, they want a quorum. So, nothing else here that is too exciting. I think we've got an understanding of here's their team members. Good on them. Good on them for trying. They've got a position. I am concerned with just the ideology that's coming through here in this party. I think reading the purpose in all these things is enough to kind of get an understanding of where they sit. All of the structures of the party seem to be very similar. But then again, I'll keep looking at more. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Would you vote for ICAN? Do you think it's a bit of a pipe dream? Or do you think they're dangerous? That they're dangerous. We've got the climate strike happening on the 15th, and I'll do a video on that. That's actually my birthday. So someone sent me some information, so that'll be my birthday present, making a video about kids running out on strike. Guys, thank you for joining me for this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ding the bell to see my daily updates, and I'm going to keep trying doing 2 videos a day. Those night videos are getting pretty hard sometimes, particularly yesterday. I did one that was 30 minutes, and I only wanted it to be 5. But that's how it is sometimes. I'm rambling. Guys, thanks. See you next time, and bye for now.